This was a fun week of Sharks hockey, wasn't it? Pucknologists 252, take two. Here we go. But of course, if you want to be part of the show, you can interact with us through all the social media platforms. You can obviously hit us up in the chat, in the super chat, all of the fun stuff that you normally do and love to do. Do it. You know, it is what it is, man. If you also want to support the show, again, super chats help us keep this show coming to you ad free and pays for all the things like hosting and websites and all that boring stuff. If you want to also support the show and help us a little bit more directly, hit us up on Venmo at tealtownusa. It stops Google from taking a cut. However you want to support the show, though, we appreciate it either way.
Big time.
Yeah, I mean that's just how this works, right?
Of course.
Today it is me, it is Puck Guy, it is the Pucknologists, episode 252, as the cast just continues to rotate crazily.
Yes. Oh, we already have a super chat.
We do. Well, let's fucking go.
Nice. Ingo VFB FCH Sharks Cuda. Since it's already the middle of the night here in Europe, when the show starts, I wish you all good vibes in advance, and we'll watch the replay of the show tomorrow. Hey, thank you very much.
Super appreciate the donation again. Donations help us keep the lights on. Landy says it does a lot of other stuff. He lies. It's really about keeping the lights on and letting us make sure that we can continue to bring this to you ad-free, uncensored, unedited. This is what AJ would say at this point. I'm a far worse host.
Don't get yourself down, dude. Come on now. Andrew Managuchi, what a week of hockey. Yeah, indeed.
And we are going to cover it all.
That's right.
Boys.
On a very special 4-hour... sorry.
I'm hoping not. I added... So what I did was I put a feelers out last night. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just see what... Just because I want to expand beyond the week in review and kind of get some cool topics to talk about. And then I got a lot. So nice. I will say this again when we get there, but I tried to include as much as I could. Some of it we're gonna speed through. Some of it I'm gonna break down a little bit more. But I do appreciate everyone giving us stuff to talk about. If we miss your thing, I apologize. Again, I do want to try and keep this show somewhat, reasonable length. It is what it is, man. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get it, and we're gonna have fun with it because, after all, with the week that was, I mean, the vibes are feeling good, and not just that. I mean, Jumbo's vibes up in Toronto right now for the Hockey Hall of Fame are just off the radar right now. So
yes.
So, but we'll get to that. Let you take the reins. Have fun with it.
The first step to is to admit it. And I think, you know what? I think, and then I will start the show for real. I think I have many flaws, but honesty, like being dishonest, is not one of them. I think I'm very honest about like what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, and you know what? That's it. You can say a lot of things about me, but what you cannot say is that I'm dishonest. I am a very honest person with my views on the team and views on myself.
Hey, I mean, which means one thing only. Ian Reid is never running for political office.
That's true. Yes, I would be Ontario. A terrible politician. AJ chiming in the chat. Ian, remember when I was all optimistic on the Sharks in the preview and you were a downer? Yeah, I remember that. I do want to point out that it is November the 9th. So maybe let's not I think as well as we should enjoy this because it was a good week of hockey. I'm not planning any parade routes. I don't know. I wouldn't. Keep your clothes on. Stop. Don't run in the streets yet. It's fine.
But wait a minute, it's Jumbo's weekend. We should actually. I mean, come on, dude, let's go.
Oh well.
Let's just
No. No.
no. That's the extra super chats.
Super chat from Isnak. Happy for Jumbo getting in. Yeah, man. Look at you want to talk about that quick before we get into the week. Obviously, I think like Jumbo going into the Hall of Fame first ballot was very expected. One of the greatest playmakers of his generation. I think he's top 20. I can't remember. Like he's really high. I think 12th in NHL scoring.
So
Like a no-brainer to me, obviously, and I'm happy that he's doing it in a way that only Jumbo could.
oh my god, or excuse me, holy doodle. I mean, it's just it's just so incredibly Jumbo. Like, do we have? Let me get the video up. I mean,
Yeah.
just this interview of him being talked to about getting into the Hall of Fame.
Being inducted to the Hall of Fame means you're awesome. Can you say that? There you go. That's what it means.
I mean, come
So good.
on.
So Jumbo. Like, would you expect anything less? So good. But yeah, I mean, like to me, it's a no-brainer. It's well deserved. I mean, especially I think considering the class that he went in with, it's a good class.
Great class. I mean, the likes of Duncan Keith, Alexander Mogilny, Brianna Decker, Jennifer Botterill. Oh yeah, and Zdeno Chara. I mean, holy doodle. I mean, what a class to go into. I mean, phenomenal class.
Ruben saying that I said that Antti Niemi was the best goaltender in the world. This was something I need to see receipts for that because that is not something I think I would ever have said.
And Ian with Al Martinet. I don't know.
Sharks last. Why is there no Holy Doodle merch? I agree. Like, what are we doing?
All right, let's see.
All
how
right,
quickly I can do that.
The week that was, the San Jose Sharks went 3-0 this week. They were undefeated. The undefeated San Jose Sharks.
Talk about holy doodle.
They started the week with a 6-1 victory over the Kraken in Seattle. Seattle outshoots them, but that's happening a lot. But I mean, look at Celebrini stays hot. I think he had his point streak broken in the one game and then just back on it.
Right.
Ethan Cardwell gets called up and he gets on the score sheet. John Klingberg scores a power play goal. Will Smith has a goal. Ty Dellandrea has a goal. Taylor Toffoli has a goal. Yaroslav Askarov making 28 of 29 saves. Just what can I say, man? Like a thorough beatdown of the Seattle Kraken.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things about a great hockey team is that they know how to find ways to win, and you know, Seattle kind of stuck with them for a little bit, and you're kind of on your edge of your seat. But then the Sharks broke out with like 3 goals in about 3 minutes. You know, I love the tenacity of the kids, but also at the same time, that shorthanded goal where Graf, you know, doesn't get the breakaway, but he sticks with it and just is able to just find Dellandrea to just tap it in. And then Toffoli comes out of the penalty box and scores. You love to see it. You love how all these guys are coming together and doing their job, finding a way. I hate to say play the game the right way, but, you know, there's multiple aspects to that they've been doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you know, it wasn't all good news. Unfortunately, Michael Misa, morning skate, gets hurt and then ends up on the IR. So he apparently he's walking around in a boot, which is not ideal. But I mean, aside from that, just a really good win, especially for a team like I don't think much of Seattle Kraken. I think like there's some mirages right now, and I think the Seattle Kraken are absolutely one of them.
Right.
But I mean, you got to beat the teams that are in front, and the Kraken have been pretty hot so far this year. Like they've way outperformed my expectations.
They got off to a really nice start. They've had some hiccups in between.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've looked good, but they've looked a little iffy, you know, in the meantime. I mean, this one definitely wasn't their best
Wasn't their
performance.
best night. I mean, they had 6 power plays. They couldn't capitalize on any of them. That
Yeah.
would be the Kraken. The Sharks are perfect on the penalty kill here. And they're 1 for 3. They had a power play goal of their own. So, Kling, like I said earlier, Klingberg on the power play. Like, it was just a really nice performance. Against, like I said, against the team who I think's punching a little over their weight, but still, I mean, you beat the teams that are in front of you.
Completely agree, and that's what you should be doing if you're going to beat the best teams. Then don't play down, which is hashtag that's so Sharks, to go down against your opponents, because
They can't play down to anyone.
well, I mean they can now.
They can, yeah.
But I digress.
Yeah. That would they would then go and play the Winnipeg Jets in Winnipeg, and another a 2-1 hard fought win. This game really impressed me. I think was because of just how like hard fought, how they stuck with it. I mean, the Jets are an absolutely stellar team. The Sharks have had they faced a pretty steady diet of backup goaltenders. That was not the case in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Hellebuck, and you saw great performances on both ends from Hellebuck, but Alex Nedeljkovic, lights
Again,
out
yeah,
surge.
just unreal.
Yeah, I mean, just looking really strong in net. I mean, we're weeks away from, if you're a goaltender, 10 to goal, from that disaster to turning aside a Winnipeg rush that just seemed like there was just a crazy net mouth scramble at the end. But credit to this team, they shut down a strong power play with Josh Morrissey, who can be lights out for them. But resiliency again, and poor Macklin Celebrini almost had his post hockey career movie ruined. With his with taking the stick to the mouth. I don't know. It seems like it's a tradition when you eventually become a captain, you got to have some teeth chipped away.
I mean, if you play without a cage, I mean, it's gonna happen.
You're just asking for it.
Yeah, I mean, look at again, like they outshot by the Jets, 33-27. Couldn't really get anything going on the power play this game. Celebrini and Smith scoring the goals. Will Smith obviously scoring the game winner late. And again, like it's the kids that are carrying the load. And it hasn't been all the kids, thankfully. I think when you look at the Sharks, and obviously William Eklund going out is a giant blow to this team, and you thought it would probably be more significant, but they've managed to keep going without him. Because I thought like the thing that was a shame about Eklund going down, is that they had like it felt like for the first time in I don't know how long you had 2 lines.
Yes.
Right? Like you had 2 lines that were an actual threat, and then that kind of gets taken away. And so when you look at this week and you're like, okay, well, the Sharks had every reason to kind of, they had every reason to have a 1-2 week, and they didn't. They were
because they had the resiliency and the tenacity to get things done. And I mean, look at the scramble for that winning goal by Will Smith, late in the third. I mean, just trying to find a way to poke through and bang it home, celebrating with that beautiful move.
yes.
Kudos to the Sharks photographers, Kevin Mystery, if go online if you can find it, but that one where you see Celebrini's face when he's reaching around Hellebuck for that first goal was something.
Yeah, now we just need to see that at the Olympics.
You're right. We'll get to that in a little bit.
And then last night was an interesting game because obviously they they play the Florida Panthers. Now the Florida Panthers are not the Florida Panthers that are the Stanley Cup champions. They have some serious pieces missing off of this team. But they had an extra player last night.
They had two.
They had two extra players last night. Not only just on the ice when not getting called, but like they were wearing zebras. And I don't even like getting on the refs. Like,
I don't
you know me,
either.
I'm not a big get on the refs guy. But I mean, this game was officiated brutally.
Like I said on the After Dark last night, it looked like once Gaudette's goal was deemed good to make it 2-0, and yes, it did originally look maybe it was a little bit of a high stick. Paul Maurice gently, because I knew his face didn't turn red,
Yeah.
but definitely got into the heads of the officials for that.
What's a veteran coach?
Oh, I mean, it's a veteran move. Even
Yeah.
Dana said it last night, that it was just one of those things where you kind of calm everything down because the place is going nuts. You're down to nothing. Makeshift timeout is basically what it was. And, Florida comes right back to get a goal, and then they work their way to getting, power plays. But again, kudos to the Sharks PK. They shut it down.
Yeah. I mean, the Sharks would go on to win this one 3-1. Celebrini, again, just can't be stopped. Can't stop, won't stop. Adam Gaudette, like you said, scored. Wenberg would add the empty netter late in the game. Yaroslav Askarov, again, 38 save game, on 39 shots. Like, unreal yesterday. Totally dialed in. And it's nice because again, but again, it goes back to like Smith and Celebrini are doing a lot of the lifting, but there's other guys doing the lifting too. Gaudette, Wenberg, like it's not just a one line on a heater team, which is really nice.
Yeah, no, you have contributions everywhere. I mean, last week we were talking about Kurashev.
Mm-hmm.
This week you're seeing the kids do things, but Wenberg, it's an empty net goal. I get it, but the hustle to actually go for a clear on an empty net to get to that deserves some praise. Defensively, I thought they were doing things nicely. Yes, were there hiccups? Of course, but. Mm-hmm. But they found a way.
Yeah, I mean, like again, the second period, but again, like this goes back to like the second period was not good. The Sharks are outshot 20-3. Obviously, when you're killing a bunch of penalties, that's going to happen. And I don't even think like a lot of the penalties. I don't have a problem with a lot of the penalties that the Sharks took. Right? I'm like, yeah, okay, that's probably a penalty, but like the fact that there was, the too many men was egregious. That boarding call, the one that should have been a boarding call, absolutely egregious. And Celebrini is obviously getting mugged in, and obviously I think this is the hard part about being a younger team is that I think like you'll notice when you watch games that younger guys aren't going to get the benefit of the doubt from the referee. Mm-hmm. Like a veteran will. And this was on total display last night.
Sure.
In my opinion.
No, I mean, what? McDavid went through this. I mean, Bedard a little bit. It's going to happen. And I think it'll happen even more so because, Celebrini isn't in a massive hockey big market.
Yeah.
If this was Canada, if this was on the East Coast, it might get magnified a little bit more. But since it's in San Jose,
no, that is
the dirty, sleepy San Jose.
Yeah, everyone's already sleeping. We can't get too indignant about it. But yeah, I don't know. Like this, the unfortunate, like I don't know. I was very unhappy with how this game was refereed. I'm really happy that the Sharks were able to pull it out because again, like this was a game where they could have absolutely turtled, folded up shop. And that'd be it.
Yeah, and the thing is that yes, they took those penalties. They took care of it. They, for the most part, stayed calm.
Yeah.
where we've seen in the past Warsaw's lost it. We definitely saw David Quinn lose it a couple of times.
Oh, you
You know,
look at I will give absolute praise. I'm glad you mentioned Ron Warsofsky because I
yeah,
think like absolute props because I think that like as bad as that game was, I thought he handled it perfectly. I don't think he could have handled it any better because I think the easy thing to do in that situation would be to just start screaming at everybody and then that just I think that would just make things worse, right? I think
right.
sometimes it'll, if they might maybe you might get a makeup call, but if you like continue on, then the refs are eventually going to tune you out. Um and so I think, Ryan Warsofsky gets a lot of credit from me for how he handled that game last night and how he kept the guys because again, I think like there was definitely penalties that the Sharks took that were absolutely penalties, but they weren't stupid penalties. You know what I mean? They weren't penalties. I didn't find them to be taking dumb, undisciplined penalties out of frustration.
Right. But kudos to the team to getting things done, doing the little things. I think that's a big key, especially going up against Florida. And yes,
Mhm.
we know they're without Barkov, they're without some of their best players, but
And we
as
didn't face Bobrovsky either.
yeah, and that's the thing. So you take for what,
Hey.
but at the same time, you just beat the the two-time defending Stanley Cup champions, and their coach. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought Warsaw had a pretty good night that night and in the night before. In fact, I believe it was Darren Stevens, Shark Stats. Only the sixth time since they've presented the President's Trophy that a team beat the President's Trophy winner and the Stanley Cup champion on consecutive nights. Only the sixth time that's happened
That's
in,
wild.
in nearly 40 years.
Sharks last. I don't know if Ian's been feeling like a proud dad, maybe uncle this week. Yeah, man, I'm ecstatic. Like I've been super happy with the Sharks this year. And then Sleepy saying Celebrini showing last night he's a better option for Canada than Sam Bennett. I think Sam Bennett's on this team though. I don't think Sam Bennett's the odd guy out here because I think you need that sandpaper that he brings. I wonder if like
Yeah.
I wonder I'm trying to think of who maybe like Macklin would have to kick off.
And I think that's the big question more than anything right now.
Yeah. Maybe Mark Scheifele like would be a guy that would be in competing with Mac for kind of a similar role.
But you're also, I mean, he had a 3-point game today. Connor Bedard, who now leads the league in scoring. I mean, they're going back and forth, but I know I was listening to NHL Tonight earlier, and they're like, yes, Bedard has more points right now, but Celebrini has the two-way game that they all Google about. So,
Yeah.
want to give a shout out to the fans, our fellow
Yes.
fans, because ASCII had a good time on post game last night with it.
Big man, pretty good. Sharks fans, I can hear you.
I love Asky.
Guys, you've been awesome today. That was super loud. I love that, guys.
And you could definitely tell that the guys are really enjoying bigger crowds and they're into it. They're definitely feeding it off, which is so classic Shark Tank.
Yeah, look, I think again, like this, the when things finally get back on the tracks, like it's gonna be awesome again because I think that like obviously like people have suffered, man. I mean we've suffered, everyone's suffered,
Yeah,
right?
it's a pain in the butt, and it's
Like
been
so. I mean, I'm glad that people are enjoying the ride so far, right? I don't know how long this ride lasts. Again, like look at, like let's like we're gonna be honest here. I mean, like this week has been really good, right?
Mhm.
But this is still an incredibly flawed team,
Oh, for sure.
right? So I mean, like again, I'm not saying okay, well, like I'm enjoying this while it lasts, but I think that like I don't think that this is going to just last forever either.
No, I mean, if it did, it's incredible and magical, and when we're having, visionary dreams of '94 and '04 again. But yeah, there's going to be a shakeup soon. People are going to learn how to watch over Celebrini and figure out the PK and know the tendencies from ASCII and Ned. But
Well, it's not even that too, right? And the other thing too, right? And again, I don't want to like be super negative here because again, this was a really good week of Sharks hockey, and I think that like again, we should all enjoy it. But like, it's November,
yes,
right? Like you look around at some of the teams that are underperforming now. That's not going to be the case forever for some of them, right? Like, I mean, you look at like a team like Edmonton last night; they get thumped 9-1 by the Avalanche. But do I think that like the ride there's over? Probably not. Like this team, like once we get into like deeper into the season, they're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, that's been their thing the last couple of seasons. Granted,
Like the
it
Florida
cost.
Panthers are gonna get healthy and then they'll figure it out, right? Um uh do I think the Sharks can keep the record above 500? I hope they keep it around 5. Like I would like them to keep it around 500. To if I think that would be like a worthy thing. I don't know how far above 500 they could finish. Again, I think that this is a team that should have a significant improvement over last year in points, but I don't know if it's going to. I don't expect it to be a playoff team, obviously, right? Like, I'm not here to tell you that, oh, playoffs are definitely a thing that's going to happen. But like, for me, if they have a season similar to what the Ducks had last season, I know I said this a lot, but
Right.
it maintains the truth, right? You have like a 20-point improvement, but it doesn't super translate in the standings. To me, that's a success for this team.
Right. I mean, and you look at what Tom Dolan's saying. It's been a good week, but let's pump the brakes.
Yeah.
Dickinson needs to play every game to get fully up to speed. Misa is talented not to be ultimately the second line center. Good progress. Yeah, and that's the thing.
Right.
Definitely, you're having good progress on the team, and looking and finding other things. Yeah, and it's like Dickinson's not completely in the lineup. Mukamu Dolan wasn't in the
This
lineup.
blue line's still trash.
Right. And
Right. Like this is a very flawed team.
so,
And then Taco Cruiser coming in with the $5 super chat.
thank you.
We appreciate you, buddy. Sharks have the third highest shooting percentage on the 25th most shots. This is not sustainable for an entire season, and he's 100% correct.
Right. I mean, their goals have been going in the last few weeks.
And like Macklin Celebrini has like a 20 something. Last I checked, he had like a 20 something percent. Like this is going to regress at some point, and it's fine. And that's and the thing is, like the thing is that's fine. It's allowed to regress.
Yeah, and that's kind of what this season is like, right? And that, they'll learn their things and come out of it. But they're definitely getting praise everywhere. Which is nice to see.
Yeah, I don't want people to come away from this thinking that they should enjoy this any less. You should 100% be enjoying this as much as we all are, but understand that it's not sustainable.
Right. But enjoy it while you can. I mean, you're beating. I mean, you beat
good teams. Look at there is nothing this week that should make you unhappy as a Sharks fan.
Right.
Period. Nothing.
I mean, you beat Seattle dominantly. You take down the Jets and the Panthers. Definitely two teams that have outstanding aspirations. The week before, you beat the best team in the league twice with the Devils and the Avalanche, and you got a point against the Red Wings. I mean, like you said, it's very good. You look and see everything. It's like this is great, and I think that's why everybody's hyped up to Ian, just because you have those teams. You beat a team that's not quite ready in Seattle. You kind of get that feeling like, oh, okay, maybe, but again, it's not sustainable. If it is, it's going to be incredible, right?
It's going to be incredible, right? We've seen teams just go on an absolute PDO bender and make the playoffs. Like it's definitely been a thing that's happened. And it could, I'm not seeing it. Well, The thing is though, is like, but I think when you're looking at like big picture stuff, what we're seeing though is we're seeing the things that we're seeing. Like we're seeing Askarov. I think look at Askarov's had an uneven season so far, but the last 2 games, like he's played some really really good games this season. Yes, he's had some stinkers too, but he's had some really really good games this season. You're seeing that next step from guys like William Eklund, guys like Macklin, Celebrini, guys like Will Smith. Like those guys are all taking steps, and then you're also seeing guys like, like Sam Dickinson doing good enough that the Sharks are keeping him around.
Right. And to have that option to let Mukmadilling have a rest or playing the matchup, which I'm not sure why it would be different between Muck or Dickinson, but yeah, I mean, it's just it's nice to have options, and we're going to have a lot more options as we get closer and closer to the deadline as to what to do or how to do it. But
yeah, like that's the like, these are the important things though. The kids taking their next steps. That's what's important this season. It's way more important than wins, losses. Wins are fun, don't get me wrong, but those things are what's really important. Yeah, I keep saying the Islanders type season where they miss the playoffs and win the draft lottery. Wouldn't that be something? I would love it.
But then your question be, if you were to win it, how do you not take out of it?
Okay, Sharks Last asking, when you get to it, I was hoping Ian would mention his comment on Twitter last night about Hoshida because so many of us don't even watch. I don't. All right, so I think last year we picked on Hoshida a lot on this show, and I don't want to. It's not going to be a regular thing. However, I was very frustrated with him yesterday because I'm trying to remember the context of it.
He said something during
he said something stupid. He did say something really. Yeah, it was during intermission. And what did he say? Because I have to go back and find exactly what he said.
There are hiccups, and I know AJ would be on it too, but I get it, and I think it's obvious that we all love Brody. Brody's a good friend of ours, but he's also a good friend of Alan. So it's
not even like, all right, what did he say exactly? Oh, okay, right. Okay, I got it now.
Okay,
I understand. So we were so he was talking about the Sharks, the goal against when Askarov lost his helmet.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Right. So he was talking about that, and it was like, and he was just kind of going on about it. Like, I don't know, man. Like, to me, I can come on here and say stupid shit. I am a fan. I do not work for the team. I am not a capital J journalist. I just watch the game. I'm a fan. And then I get to come on YouTube and I talk about it. So if I say something completely hyperbolic and stupid, it's fine. I'm a fan. I'm supposed to say stupid, hyperbolic things. But to me, the point of the broadcast should be to teach. Right?
Okay.
And so he's going on about like how this call is garbage. And Dan Boyle immediately sets him straight and says, and not only because that's the rule, like by the rule book, that is a goal. And then he goes on and Dan Boyle sets him straight and says, and besides, if that went against the Sharks, or if that was the Sharks scoring, like you would want that to go that way as well. And then Hoshida responds that if it was the Sharks, they wouldn't get the call. And well, I just fucking look it. But again, it is fine to come on here and say something dumb on a rinky-dink podcast like ours when you are the broadcast for the home fucking team. Like, what are we doing?
That's where the fan, that's where the fine line for all of us. And I know Alan's been in the Bay Area and as a Shark fan, we heard about that when he was introduced but that's the fine line of the profession. Well, I don't even say professional of being
Yes.
the
No,
host
he is a
versus the
professional.
fan.
He is the fucking host of the broadcast. He is supposed to be a professional. We're not like this is it blows my mind just how far like just media in general has fallen. That we just like we
Yeah.
cling to the dumbest conspiracy nonsense bullshit. It's dumb. It doesn't it's you're not teaching anybody anything. Like you know what I mean? Like it just
I get it.
one, open a rule book and like, do you know the rules? You should. You're the host.
Now, here's my thing. Yeah, and like Shark's last saying, but to teach, yes, 100%. That's why I love Drew so much. The other thing too is I remember that playoff series against Edmonton in 2006, excuse me,
Okay.
where Dwayne Rollison, I mean, probably had the loosest helmet mask ever and lost that Mo Flicka numerous times when the Sharks had the Oilers' hand in his own, and he got an instant stoppage in play every time he go. Ugh. Like he was doing an Herbal Essences ad, and I'm glad we didn't have a mic on because yes, like all the fucking time, and it drove me fucking nuts that whole playoff series because it's like, oh, his mask just magically comes off. Oh,
Yeah.
4 shots on goal, mask magically comes off completely. Referee stops the play completely, which
Yeah.
I can see why people would be upset when they see Askarov's mask come off. And I get it. He kind of nudged it off a little bit himself.
Well, yeah, because if you look at so the worst thing you can do if you're a goalie, right, is he did the right thing because obviously if the Sharks get possession, that's a stoppage in play, right?
Right.
And it is kind of silly that like if the opposing team has the puck and they have these flex sticks that shoot the puck at 1,000,000 miles an hour, that they could shoot at a fucking goalie's head. Yes, it's pretty dumb. It's not safe, and there's probably somewhere in the middle. But like if you're a goalie and you know that your strap is not on, like if that puck hits you in the face, like you're risking injury because that mask is going to come flying off and God knows what it does, right? Like does a strap cut or something. So
Right.
the first thing you want to do if you're a goalie and that strap comes off is you want to dump the mask. So one, the refs can see that your mask isn't on and
Right.
But so he did the right thing.
So how you just explained that is probably what we were hoping to hear on the broadcast.
Yeah.
So,
and it just bothers me because I think that I just feel like you shouldn't have to go to a podcast to learn the game better than from your own broadcast. Like I feel like the broadcast has a good thing, and I know like they still do things where Drew's going to break down a play and explain what's what, and maybe Hoshida doesn't have to do that, but it was the fact that like he could just be so wrong for one. And then like the homerish, like the super homerish bullshit, which I understand has kind of just become the norm now. Like that is every team's broadcast now is very incredibly homerish, which really I think doesn't do anything good for the game. Like I think it sucks. I think it makes dumber fans, and that bothers me.
And that was a big thing when Drew was in Edmonton. They wanted him to be more of a homer. He don't needed him to teach the game per se. It was.
Yeah, but you still like, you know what though? You know how much I learned from watching hockey broadcasts, like even being Canadian, where apparently the rule book is just in my brain when I come out of the womb. Yeah. Like I learned so much from watching broadcasts. And it's it's a shame that now they do less teaching the game. Like obviously you have to do it in a way that's entertaining and sure. They do less teaching the game now, I find, and it's just more fluff. And I don't generally watch intermissions anymore because one, there's two reasons you watch intermission, right? Maybe you'd have like a good, like I think there's certain people like John Tortorella on the ESPN whatever feed.
Oh yeah,
John Tortorella, that's must see intermission. But a lot of them aren't good anymore. And the other problem with intermission too is like that's when you would get all the rumors and shit. And I have a phone now, and when there's a rumor, the second it breaks, it's on my phone. So you know what I mean? Like that. a part of it's just that time has changed so much that, it's really made a lot of the intermission kind of irrelevant now, because a lot of the news that you would get normally only on that intermission show, you don't get anymore because it's already gone to your phone and you heard whatever long before that, right?
Yeah, which is why I loved the Twitter mission that they had with Brody and Curtis and Sonia. Shout out Sonia, we love you on here. It it was fun. It was engaging. They need to find other ways, but also at the same time, there are, I believe, just 2 more years left of this TV deal. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know what the Sharks can really do, but they need to get their media footprint in not just the Bay Area, but also in Northern California going. I don't know. Something needs to be adjusted in the upcoming TV deal.
Yeah, so that's all. Like, I don't want to I don't want to become a thing, a part of, I'm not going to do this every week where I'm just going to like, oh, Hoshida said something different and now we're going to rant about it. Like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that this year. However, since I was asked about my tweet, I did want to bring it up, but I don't want this to be a regular thing where I'm just like ripping the broadcast all the time. So I just don't want to do it.
And there's, as much as everybody can rant about it, there's a lot of things we love about it. So yeah. All right.
Let's move on to the other team in San Jose.
Yeah.
Barracuda actually also had a pretty good week this week. They were 2-0-1 this week. They started off the week with a 2-1 loss in overtime to the Ontario Reign, who is the only team they play apparently. They are the only team in the Pacific Division. In the Ontario Reign, that's it.
Ian, check your mic. You sound like a fishbowl on my end.
Oh no! No.
There you go. I think you're better now.
All right.
But yeah, great week for the Barracuda.
Yes.
I mean, Chernyshov gets the only goal for the Reign, but thank goodness, because he's been due.
Yeah. Sorry. I just want to finish here quickly, just because I want to just get to a couple things on the last point, and then we're going to move on for real.
Okay.
I agree with Alan for part of it, but if the rules are the rules, 10 minutes was just, the rules don't apply to certain players and areas. Look at, again, I think there's a big difference between saying that, this game was poorly officiated, which it was, and then being like, well, this call, again, the problem with Alan, it's not the fact that it's just like he got the rule wrong and then just dug in on it. And then when when Boiler set him straight, it was just, well, the Sharks wouldn't get the call anyway. Like, that's my problem, right? I am not saying that this game was again, Tom Dolan here, the blatant cross check. Again, we talked about this. There was, I said it, there was definitely things that the Sharks should have gotten calls for that they absolutely didn't get calls for.
Right.
I'm not saying, again, like the game was poorly officiated. And if you said the game was poorly officiated, it was fine. The problem was he was talking about a specific call that was the correct call. And then he kind of dug in his feet about it. When he was wrong and just doubled down. So that's the issue. Back to the Barracuda. Again, 2-0-1 this week. They started the week with a overtime loss to the Ontario Reign. Igor Chernyshov got his first goal of the season. I talked about, you guys read out the stock up, stock down for me last week, which I super appreciated.
Of course.
When I wasn't here, and I talked about how Chernyshov was doing everything but putting the puck in the back of the net, and this week he was able to start putting the puck in the net. A good game for the Barracuda. I think they got goalied a little bit against the Reign. Gabe Carey had a decent night, 18 saves on 20 shots. They find the score sheets. They just couldn't beat. I think it was Portillo in net for the Reign that evening. So
Yeah, I saw a lot of Barracuda fans like, if it would be great not to play for Portillo again,
Yes.
please.
Yeah, he's kind of had their number so far this year.
He got a freaking Ben Scrivens night on the Cuda, damn it. But things will change around.
Things will change around. They would then play on Thursday, and they had a weird thing where they played them on Thursday, and I think the Wranglers played someone else on Friday, and then they played again on Saturday. So on Thursday night, the Barracuda beat the Wranglers, Calgary's farm team, obviously, the 4-3 victory. Really close in shots. Barracuda power play decent. They went 2 for 5. Struggle. They struggle on the penalty kill this week, which has been a problem with them for a while now. But in their defense, it wasn't the usual parade to the penalty box that we've seen. And also, obviously, with guys going down, they've had people called up. So I think it was a good week for them in that respect. Zach Ostapchuk got called up. I don't think much of Zach Ostapchuk, but I think when you're already having some pretty significant lack of center depth, losing another center probably doesn't help. Ethan Cardwell not being there is huge. I think Ethan Cardwell is such a motor for that team. But yeah, so Chernyshev gets his second and third goal of the season. Luca Cagnoni gets on the score sheet, as well as Cam Lund. Unfortunately, Cam Lund would take a puck in the face, and we haven't seen him since later in that game.
Man, and he had something in the preseason too, correct? If I
believe so, yeah. Yeah, he took a puck. It looks like it got him under the eye. I don't know. I didn't get to listen to the when Nick Nollenberger does his pre-game, where he kind of gets a lot of information. So I don't know what the current standing of Cam Lund is right now, but he was missing. Jacob Skarek came in, I thought, again, had a pretty decent night. Made 25 saves on 28 shots. Calgary's power play was anemic coming into this series with the Barracuda. And of course, whenever you're anemic, it's time to play the Barracuda and have things. Something that actually, but during this game though, Nick, I'm going to paraphrase what Nick said, because he had a conversation with Quentin Musty. And I think it's interesting because we talk a lot about, like, obviously the progression to the pro game, right? And what these guys have to do. We talked, I think yesterday we were talking on After Dark, we were talking about Casper Haltman and how he's shooting a lot of shots, but he's got to kind of refine his shot selection. I think that's the big adjustment. But Quentin Musty actually had an interesting thing to say to Nick, where he responded that his biggest adjustment is that he can't hold the puck as long. Like a lot of guys, when they're in junior hockey, when you're like the star guy, you'll just kind of hold the puck and distribute and shoot, and you kind of just run the whole play. And he said that in the pro game, like, it's just, that's been the biggest adjustment for him, is not being able to hold the puck as long as he's used to, because obviously you want to move it very quickly, because otherwise big guys are going to come and run you over and take it from you. And it's a big, it's interesting. I thought I thought I would add it though, because I think it's another interesting thing that guys have to adjust to when you're talking about making the adjustment from coming from junior hockey or college or whatever. And I just thought it was interesting, so I thought I would add that.
No, totally. And you know me, I love some Casper Halton, but he loves his office. I would love to see him get outside his office, take a break, go for a cup of coffee, and then score. And that second goal he did. But that Afanasev shot to open the scoring for the Cuda on Saturday, that was beautiful.
Saturday, yes. Or so Saturday. Saturday the Barracuda win 4-1 over the Calgary Wranglers. They outshoot this. I think it's the first time they've outshot anyone this week. They outshot them 31-27. Again, they only took 2 penalties, but they failed to kill one of them. They're 1 for 3 on the power play, though, so that's not bad. Afanasyev gets his first of the season for the Barracuda. Casper Haltman gets his third and fourth, and Colin White gets his second of the year. Way back, yeah, going way back. And Gabe Carrier, really solid night. 26 saves on 27 shots. So they're now on a 4-game point streak, and it was their first back-to-back win of the season. And like the San Jose Sharks on Saturday, they became a 500 hockey club.
Yeah. And kudos, you definitely could see they're working together a lot more, definitely finding each other. And, it's it's like you have to have like an extended training camp at times to just get all the rest and get the wrinkles out a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, they looked pretty decently on Thursday, but Saturday they look really good against Calgary.
Yeah. So I think the Barracuda, I think they've been playing well, but I am a little more cautious than I am with the Sharks. So I think the Sharks have beaten some really, really good teams. Calgary Wranglers aren't a good team. And I think that I worry because this week, I'll just kind of get to what they're going to finish up the week. They're going to play Abbotsford twice this week, and Abbotsford's absolutely brutal this year.
So they're not quite up to speed for being the defending Calder Cup champions. I guess that's tough to do in the minor leagues too, of course.
Yes.
Hershey.
I like there's a game they played a game I think Friday against Colorado where they were held to just 10 shots on goal.
Oof.
Vitaly Kravtsov, they mutually agreed to terminate his contract. He came over from the Rangers, former first round pick of the Rangers. So he was like one of like two weapons that they really had going for them this year so far, and he mutually agreed. So they're in rough shape, and I think if the Barracuda like rip off a couple wins, I think this is a team the Barracuda should absolutely beat. But I have trouble getting excited about the Barracuda right now, just because I think their goaltending is pretty suspect. Like Gabe Carey had a really good game. I think the goaltending had been better this week, but I don't think it's good.
Right.
I think it drifts between okay to average. I don't like their center depth. I think their center depth is super weak. I think Colin White's their best center, and I don't think Colin White should be your best center. Philip Beestead and Zach Ostapchuk this year have been really disappointing so far to me. Mm-hmm. I was surprised Ostapchuk actually even got a call up at this point. I don't know.
Who could have gone up instead?
Fair. Fair. Like, I don't know.
I mean, yes, I'm saying that, but also it's like, well, yeah, who else is going to be deserving of that, as opposed to being a default in regards to, Ostapchuk had some.
Yeah, I mean, Ostapchuk's obviously the guy that Mike Greer brought in, so it makes sense that he got the call up. I want to be excited about the Barracuda, but both teams I think are incredibly flawed. I have concerns about the Barracuda, and I just think that, yeah, they've done okay, but they're going to play like a bunch of really bad teams, and maybe they go on they rip off a bunch of wins, but like, it's not going to make me excited as much as what the Sharks is doing has excited me, because
right.
I think it's fool's gold, and maybe it's all fool's gold. I don't know. Yeah. I wish I want to be excited. I want to be more excited about the Barracuda, and it makes me frustrated that I'm not. But I just think that, again, you look at their center depth. I don't think their center depth is very good. I think both Beestead and Ostapchuk have been very disappointing so far this season, which is frustrating. And the worst part is because they have all these guys they've got these high end weapons on the wing, with guys like Lund and Musty and Haltonen and Chernishev. Like, it's just, it frustrates me because, like, I understand, we all know that Thomas Bordeleau wanted out, but I wonder what this team would look like with a guy like Thomas Bordeleau down the middle instead of because to me, Beestead and Ostapchuk are the same guy.
Hey, and see, I look at it differently, that Beestead does have a little more scoring touch. Ostapchuk, I don't know. I just don't know what the
maybe that's not fair, but that's how I feel about them right now. I feel like they're the same guy.
I totally get that.
So. Man, I can turn anything to a downer. I'm the worst. Man.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that was the Barracuda. That was the week that was for the Barracuda. Look, again, I think it's good. I just think that there's issues.
Yeah, no, definitely. Paul Medina, no more Zetterlund love.
I still like Zetterlund. Look at, man, like, You traded a third line forward for a third line AHLer. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a good trade to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and Larry Johnson saying the same thing. Yeah, would rather have Zetterlund. But again, I think in Greer's mind, it's like, where are we going to have him in the top 6? Like, if you were to have Zetterlund on this team right now, where would you put him?
Yeah. Molasses. Pump said is more skill, Stepchick is more gritty guy. Yeah, I think so. But I mean, they're not, but they're just, that's probably fair. But I just feel like they're bringing the same thing.
Crichton.
Do you think the young guys, Musty, Sherney, Holtz, Lund, can continue progressing even if the rest of the team isn't strong, makes the playoffs? Here's the beautiful thing about the Pacific Division of the AHL. 7 teams make the playoffs. I think that when you look at that, I still think like there's a good chance that this team is going to get some playoff rounds. I think they can. I think that there's a way that the Barracuda can have a lot of success. It's just they're going to have to be an incredibly boring low event team. I do see a path to success for this team. It's just not going to be. I don't think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, if that makes sense.
It'll be a tough watch. It's not going to be fun like the Sharks have been
Right.
over the last
Yeah,
couple
I
weeks.
think their key to success is being a lot more boring to watch, and maybe you don't get to see as much of those of the wingers that we're talking about be able to flex as much as you would like them to.
Right.
But I don't know, man. What else should we talk about?
I think because you have me on, and I'm a Jersey geek like no one else on this show. Maybe AJ gives me a run for money, but those Canadian and Finland jerseys got unveiled this week, which you love to see if I can actually pull them up. Yeah, so we'll get the crests up on here. The Finland to me just never misses. The Canadian one, I know what they're going for. I think is similar to what they had a few years ago in Beijing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of these?
So the Finns never miss.
Yep,
they never miss. Like the Finns never miss. Like they're great. They're great. They understood the assignment.
Then there's Canada.
Okay, see, I love this white one here.
Mm-hmm.
Love. I think there is room for black on a Team Canada jersey, but I think you have to have white too. Like when I look at I think you need. There just needs to be white there. Where is the black on the Canadian flag? Someone please tell me where the black is on the Canadian flag. And I just think like the red and white just pops so well. I don't know. Like I love the white one. I look at you want to do a black one, great. I just wish the red one was red and white.
I completely agree. I mean, I get it. It's Nike, and granted, Bauer's making the replicas, and I get why they're doing that. Nike's the one that produces these out. However, explain to me why we're having partial stripes on the back.
The partial stripes I don't love either.
And it's not just that; it's also on the arms. I don't understand.
Give me a second. I gotta grab something.
Go grab that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put up this, and tell me. The black one is the red one with the black leaf is modern and everything, and it's badass, and like, ooh, that's so cool. Yeah. But
look at the white. Like the white's so much better.
But
it pops.
Look at what Fanatics put out. This podcast to say something about Fanatics. It's incredible, but Eric Bomber and the crew and Brian Grindell. I'm forgetting others, so forgive me if you guys are actually watching. But they hit it out of the ballpark with these, with the Four Nations jerseys, and it's like, can they moonlight with Nike? I know, like I've mentioned many times, Eric did the Sharks jerseys, the first alternate jersey, the one like I'm wearing tonight, but he was also at Nike when those really cool jerseys came out for Nagano. They obviously have a track record of kicking ass in doing what they're doing, because Nike just they try too hard and try to look cool and everything, and it's just like meh.
Like, look at this.
Here, I'll
Right?
put you on full.
Like, you can do black. You can have black. This is the
O2.
So this is all Salt Lake. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
Salt Lake. You can do black, but like look at like how much the white just makes it look better.
Pull back a little bit, but yeah,
Like,
I want to
right?
make sure you get all in there. Yeah,
Like you just I don't know, man. It makes me crazy.
like that's a beautiful jersey.
Yeah, I love the Salt Lake jersey, man.
Yeah, I mean, it
One
just
of my
needs,
favorites. I think it's one of like the just goated.
oh, absolutely. I mean, it helps that they won a goal
Sure.
there for sure. But I mean, yeah, and Paul Medina is saying the same thing. The Canadian ones are ick except for the away jersey.
Yeah, I would absolutely get the away one, but
Kitchtoffer 51. How are you going to put a black leaf on a black jersey? Yeah, I mean, you got to put a red leaf on there.
yeah, that's the other thing too. Yeah, the black on the black is just dumb.
Yeah, yeah, they've
like
done to the dark side. And yeah, considering, yeah. Did I become a robot? Oh, that is awful.
It happened. It's fine.
Whatever.
You've been back for a while. It's good. Yeah.
Good,
Like
good.
I think like you can use black on a Team Canada jersey. I understand that there's black in the Hockey Canada logo. So I understand like where the black comes from, but the flag is red and white.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, that's how it should be and everything. Of all the teams that can have that traditional look, it's Canada.
Yeah. Like,
You know.
I don't know, it bothers me.
Like, Finland is fine.
Yeah.
Finland is fine, but it's like,
They understand what color their fucking flag is at least.
yeah.
The American jersey, I promise you, will be red, white, and blue.
Yeah. Just
Sweden's will
crazy.
be blue and yellow. Nah, Team Canada, fuck red and black. Dumb.
So dumb.
Identity crisis.
Yeah, no, it needs to be done. I'm worried. So that being said, I worry that USA will do the opposite, and they're a team where the modern look can work, but this team is so stuck with 1960. The first
it has to be the collegiate font.
yeah, but it's like, oh my god. Like the worst part is that they have that, like, it's like a straightened version of the Rangers jersey,
Yes.
which I think that's part of the problem.
Yes.
Because it should have,
It's very USA hockey.
but then they put like modern numbers on the back of it, and it's like, really,
I love the hockey, like the USA hockey logo. I love it. I wish they would use that more prominently. But
the one,
I'm Canadian.
but the one that they had in '98, I thought was chef's kiss so much, because it was a modern take on the 1980 jerseys.
Yes.
And honestly, that's what they should be doing. If you're Nike, put a modern take on the Miracle on Ice jerseys, and rock those. So I'm holding out hope, but alas, I'm not going to hold my breath on it. So.
How about the perpetually rebuilding San Jose Sharks?
Oh God. when I saw this, I'm like, okay, really? Perpetually rebuilding San Jose Sharks.
Like,
I'm gonna try to pull it up here, but it's like, really?
Made my day.
Like, these teams live
How
in
old are
perpetual,
you?
right? Let me see here. I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna do the screen share.
Yeah.
Watch out. This could go dramatically wrong. Where are we? There we go. But yeah.
Like,
FanDuel Sportsbook. These teams live in a permanent rebuild. 10 franchises that are always in rebuild mode.
always.
The Jets,
Always.
the A's, the Jazz, Brooklyn Nets, Washington Wizards, the Islanders, Giants, Bears, Pirates, and of course, that perpetual rebuild San Jose Sharks.
How many rebuilds have the Sharks done? Like one when they
one,
two,
we've done
really.
one.
Because being an expansion team, you're just automatically in a rebuild.
And they rebuild the rebuild then.
Yes.
I mean, they gutted the roster in '94, and you came within a goalpost of going to the Final Four.
Yes.
And what? Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay,
Yes.
that must have been a rebuild from '95 to '97. Excuse me, my bad. But thank you, Sabres.
Right? That was the first thing I thought.
Sabres?
Like, where are the New York Islanders are on there, and like they've had some like peaks and valleys, but I mean, perpetual rebuild, silly. Like, how is Buffalo not there? Buffalo hasn't been in the playoffs for 14 years. They've rebuilt their rebuild,
And they might go on
they
the
might
third.
rebuild it again. Like, it's insanity. I mean, I can't speak to a lot of the other teams because I'm mostly a hockey guy, so I can't speak to the validity of any of these other teams. But the perpetual rebuild.
Yes. Now we do have some news. I want to shout out Kathy for showing this to me, but we do have breaking news.
Okay.
We have the FAM's first 49ers game together. And it's Tyler Toffoli with Michael Misa and Sam Dickinson. We did it, gang. We did it.
Dickinson has a home. We did it.
We did it, gang. I'm so proud of us. You love to see it. Granted, could you pick the red Niner jerseys for frick's sakes? God, guys. And we will not get into the freaking 49er game. Don't worry. All the sports media will do that for you for the next 3 days and not talk about the fucking Sharks. Okay, sorry.
So I put out a call yesterday, like I said at the top of the show, and so people sent me in a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to try and speed bag through some of it, and we'll maybe go in depth on others. So this is what happened. I put out the call on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and people were like overwhelmingly respond. So thank you for that.
Love to see it.
And now we're gonna have some fun. The GM of the team, Mike Greer, told me I need to put respect on Ryan Warsawski's name. People were crying to have him fired, and now he's got the team playing amazingly right now. And you know what? I will go back to what I said earlier about Ryan Warsawski. I think it would have been very easy for him, especially yesterday, given everything that happened, to screw that up. And he played it perfectly. He was calm. He didn't start screaming at the officials like he'd done last year. There was times where I thought he was a little bit too chirpy at the officials, and he kept it together. So I'm gonna give him some respect for yesterday, man. Again, I'm gonna shut him out again because I think yesterday he played that as well as I think anyone could have played that. I would have been screaming at the referees yesterday, and then my team would have taken like 10 more penalties, and I don't know if that would have ended well.
Yeah. But I'll give him kudos, like you said. I mean, Warsaw, I think, granted, being one of the younger coaches in the league,
there's still I still have quibbles, right? Like I have quibbles about like John Klingberg just being PP1 QB, even though it hasn't. Like I know he had a goal this week, so it may seem kind of like weird to have a quibble with this, but I don't think the power plays looked incredibly great otherwise. And I just feel like, like me, I would make a change there. But again, I'm an idiot. I'm just a jerk off on YouTube. Ryan Warsawski's a guy making millions of dollars to coach hockey, probably. So, yeah. So,
moving on.
Sharks Radar asked me how many kids do I have left. They're gone. I have no children left. Whenever, again, you can say a lot of things about me, but I did what had to be done to get the Sharks some wins. So I hope you'll appreciate what I sacrificed for you, the fans of the San Jose Sharks. I have 2 kids left. They're fine.
They're all
Koljan had asked me if I could do an update on the pipeline, and there just wasn't enough time to do it tonight. So next week on the Pucknologists, we are going to do a little bit more of an update on how a lot of the prospects are doing across their various leagues. So look forward to that. I just couldn't do it. I just didn't have time to put together for today. Sharks Jules did not sacrifice, Jules didn't sacrifice any children. So remember, when you're again thinking about like who is, you know, who's doing what needs to be done and who isn't, me, not Jules. Period.
Obviously, because Jules is such an age veteran on this team.
Fake fan Jules.
Fake fan Jules. Yes, nice one, Malasses. Good one. Continue on. Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah. So Dave asked if I could talk about the spectacular improvement of the goalies and why. And I thought it'd be a really interesting time to do a little bit of a goalie breakdown here. And I have notes. How do I have notes? So let's start with Alex
back here. You go right ahead.
So I'm going to start with Alex Nedeljkovic. He is obviously he's an athletic hybrid goalie who relies more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically explain what these goalies are, what makes them good, and what would make them less than good. So to start with Alex Nedeljkovic, he is an athletic hybrid goalie. He relies a lot on his athleticism, more than he is decent positionally, but he relies a lot on his athleticism. Being a smaller goalie, think more UC Saros than Connor Hellebuck. Connor Hellebuck's the guy who obviously gets in front of pucks and he's just in the perfect position all the time to block pucks. Whereas I think Nedeljkovic is a guy who more reacts to play. I think he's very aggressive, very athletic. The problem with a goalie like him is obviously when you rely on more on your athleticism, you tend to pop out more rebounds that go places that maybe you don't want them to go. But he's so competitive, though. He never gives up on a play. His hands are also very good, which again, when you're relying on your athleticism, he makes really good saves with both his blocker and catcher. And he makes Alex Nedeljkovic can make saves with his catcher and blocker that other goalies just wouldn't attempt because he's just that athletic. When he's at his best, Alex Nedeljkovic is going to be a guy who is going to be playing probably right up, either on his crease or right above his crease. Because of his smaller size, he needs to make himself as big as possible in order to make himself bigger and cover more of the net. So he's going to be out aggressively playing at the top of his crease to the edge of his crease. And he's also going to be, when he's at his best, he's going to be comfortably playing the puck around the net, kind of adding, and we've seen this go wrong in San Jose. So people will be like, no, they don't need to play the goalie. But I think when he's at his best, he's very comfortably playing the puck and helping move transition. And I think he's also, he reads the play so well. When Alex Nedeljkovic is at his worst, he's either overplaying the situation by being too aggressive, which can lead to situations where laterally he can get beat, backdoor plays, stuff like that, because if you're playing too far out, people can get behind you. The other way you'll know that Alex Nedeljkovic is not having a good night is if he's not playing aggressively. Maybe he's playing too deep into his net. I think being a guy, again, Alex Nedeljkovic, not a big guy, he's 6 feet tall. So if he's in his net, playing too deep in his net, obviously he's not covering as much of the net, relying a lot on athleticism, which gets a lot more difficult if his defensemen are doing him no service. Like he needs to be able to have guys clear it out in front of him. If guys are allowed to push him back into his crease and not let him see around screens and deflections, he's going to have a very bad night, in my opinion. So that to me, so I think when you look at it, so you want to ask what are they doing better? I think you could see it in Nedeljkovic, right? Like you can see when he's on top of his game. I think he's aggressive, but not too aggressive. I think he's reading the play really well. I don't think this defense does either goalie a lot of favors. So But I think that is Alex Nedeljkovic in a nutshell. I don't know. Tell me if you agree in the chat, or if not, that'd be fine. Yaroslav Askarov, on the other hand, he is athletic, but he's more typically he's a positional goalie. He can obviously be very athletic, but he's more technically. I think of the two goalies, he's the more technically sound. He's going to be in the right position. He's going to block a lot of shots. Yes, I'm going to explain this picture in a minute,
Okay.
because I think it's really. I think that picture is really neat. I tried to find a better picture of it because when he blocks the bottom of the net, he's really good. So Askarov's a guy who's going to he's going to be in the right position more often than not. He's a bigger goalie, so he's not going to be super aggressive. He's going to play more middle of his crease. He's middle to top of his crease. Where I think Nedeljkovic, you'll find like when he's when guys are coming in on him, he's going to be up to the top and maybe a little bit outside the crease. Askarov plays, going from that picture there, like he plays a more modified. He plays a really interesting modified butterfly style, but he's also really good. Like the problem with the old butterfly goalies where they weren't good. Their weakness was mostly on like the short side, and like post against the post play. And Askarov, the reason why he's so good is because he can play those. He can get to the post and get off the post without really screwing up what he's doing. Like he doesn't have to change his positioning. I wish I could explain it better, but if you watch him play, you'll notice how he doesn't really like when he has to hug the post to block everything off on the short side. Like it doesn't take him out of his stance, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So
I could totally see what you're talking about here, especially, and he just seems to be more flexible.
Yeah, he's freakishly flexible. Like when you look at this, like, and this is not even the best version of it. When there's times where I don't even know how he does it because it just doesn't make sense to me. Like he can take out, like just take up the entire bottom of the net with the weird way he does the splits, and it doesn't make sense. And I feel like he's going to be an old man and never be able to walk again because of the way he contorts himself to cut off the bottom of the net. So when Askarov's playing his best, he's going to be playing high in his crease, tracking the play, holding strong angles. He's not cheating to either side, and there's no real wasted movement when he's moving around the net. He generally moves to where he needs to go. And Jesse Granger, Paul Medina saying Jesse Granger, and this is where I kind of cribbed that from because the way he bends his hips, like it's freakish, it's weird. I tried to find a better picture of it, just going through yesterday's game, and that was the best kind of I could come up with, given the limited time. It's freakish. He doesn't waste any movement. He tracks the puck very well through screens. He's playing calm, composed, positional game. And I think when Yaroslav Askarov's at his worst, he's relying too much on his left. I think he's a very athletic goalie, but he's at his worst when he's trying to rely too much on his athleticism rather than playing the proper position. And the problem with that is if you're not in the right spot, I find like he kind of, the controller gets unplugged on some plays, like on some broken plays and some deflections. It's like the controller gets unplugged with him, where he reacts kind of late to it.
Sorry, and my question to you would be, what do you think was having him struggle early on in the season? What's changed now?
I think he's played a calmer game. I think when he's been at his best, he's doing like a lot of the things like what I'm saying, right? Where he's tracking the play really well. He's in the right position. He's not scrambling all over his net. I find the more scrambly Askarov gets, the more likely his game falls apart.
Got it.
Right. So if he's relying too much, and I think like the other thing too with Askarov is like the way he plays, like he doesn't have to do much with his upper body because of his positioning. if he's scrambling around the net and he has to rely overly on his hands, I don't think Askarov's hands are very good. I don't think he's a particularly great catching goalie.
Okay.
Like, I find like if he's better when he's in position, but if he has to like scramble and like throw his arm up, like that's where I think he gets himself into trouble. Because I think his hands are kind of dumb.
Interesting. Oh,
I don't
I'm
know if that
learning
makes
something.
sense.
Yeah, I'm definitely learning something.
Yeah, I think I think the more if he's off, you'll see his off his games because he's way more scrambly. Like, and I don't mean like, I think the one thing that Laskarov really has though is like really good edge work. So like you'll see him and his feet are kind of moving and he's not really moving though.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's fine. But it's when I think it's more when he has to like kind of scramble around his crease and try to make more, like rely mostly on athleticism. I think when he's at his best, he's positionally sound. He's more like a Connor Hellebuck. Connor Hellebuck's a guy who just is in the right position all the time. And I feel like when Yaroslav Askarov's at his best, that's kind of similar to what he's doing.
Oh, I get you. Oh, good. This is our guy going into the future, and now let's be honest here. I think he's, then know the tendencies and what makes these guys tick, and how they position to, stop the puck. As we make, just stop the puck, it's fine.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more to it. So I
Yeah.
appreciate this, Ian. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. So I don't know. Dave, I hope that helps answer that question. I thought it would just be a better way of explaining it than just kind of going like when he's at his best, when he's at his worst. And then I'm hoping that people will hear what I've said. And then, when they watch next time, maybe they will notice things.
It'll click.
Yeah. He says that now and then. So he's asking if he can navigate backdoor save next game. He might. Yeah. I mean, he might. It could happen. Like he is freakishly athletic. I just think that when he's relying more on his athleticism than his positioning is when the wires get crossed.
Right. All right. What else do you got for me, bud?
Sharks last asked Cards talked just about Cardwell and his contributions while up and how long do we think we'll see him in the NHL. I think he's been fine, right? Like I think Cardwell's come up. I think he's done exactly what he's needed to do. I've liked his game so far. I think, again, Ethan Cardwell's a guy who I think is going to have a very, very, very long NHL career when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I love Cardsy. I mean, he was up there. Van Roboys, was someone we were gushing last year at camp at being a guy. And now, granted, he's gone back and forth between the Cuda and Wichita. The concern for me, and Nick Nolenberger said this on the broadcast yesterday, is that Van Roboys is being used as a top six forward, and he's there in scoring goals for Wichita, and it's completely different as to what he's doing with the Cuda.
Yeah.
How can that like throw a guy's head off a little bit to try to get up to the NHL?
I think, yeah. So I think that's a really good question, actually, and I think it comes down to like you have to be able to, if you're gonna have success in the NHL, you're gonna have to be able to play a role. Like there's gonna be a role, and you're gonna have to either figure out how to fill that role, or you're not gonna have a career. So I think that obviously in a situation like with Ethan Cardwell, who I think is a very offensive driver for the Barracuda. But he obviously, like, he knows he has to also be good on the defensive end of the puck. He knows he has to be an agitator. He knows he has to do, there's other things in his game that he needs to keep in his toolkit, because in the NHL, like, Ethan Cardwell's not going to be a guy who's going to come up and score 30 goals in the NHL.
Right.
Right.
Be great. But
so it would be great,
don't expect it.
But that's not going to happen.
Right.
So I think for a guy like Ethan Cardwell, like you have to make sure that you're keeping the parts of your game that are going to translate to the next level, refined, and you got to keep working on them. It's nice to score goals. Scoring goals is awesome, But if that's not going to be your NHL game, then you have to make sure that you are not letting those other aspects of your game that are going to translate more to the next level slip. Does that make sense?
No, totally.
Totally. Michael Mortensen says, my recap of the season: great goaltending we win, yet less than great goaltending we lose. We have been outshot in almost every game this season. We still don't have defense. We still don't have the defense to make the playoffs. Thoughts? I think that, again, it goes back to what I said earlier. This team is still incredibly flawed. I still think that the Sharks do, like, the defense is something that they're going to have to sort out at some point. And again, thankfully, you look at the blue line, most of these guys aren't signed significantly long. There's going to be a blank space, like a blank slate at some point. The problem is for the San Jose Sharks is you have to develop, because we see free agent classes dry up long before free agents
hit
free agency, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I think that, like, obviously, like, you can't look at, some guys do hit free agency. I mean, we saw, Gavrikov, I thought, is a really good defenseman. He hit free agency, but a lot of it's going to be drafting and developing. And I still think that, like, the blue line, I like Eric Polkamp, but I don't think he's a number one defenseman in the NHL. Like, there's still a big hole that the Sharks have at number one right shot D.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something, but I think that, obviously, look at it, this team, a lot has to go right for this team to win, and a lot has gone right. As we mentioned earlier, like we mentioned earlier about how the shooting percentage is up and everything else. Like, a lot has to go right for this team to win consistently. But it does seem like right now, like, it's, if the goaltending's good, they give you a chance to win. That's all you really can ask for, though, at this point, right?
Right.
Like, that's all you want from these guys, especially a guy like Yaroslav Askarov, who you think is the guy that's going to be the guy between the pipes when this thing is ready to actually be a fully operational Death Star. You want him to be good. So I think that, I think that's all you want. I mean, you want, like, I agree with what you've said. As far as, like, it does feel like right now, like, if the Sharks goaltending is good, it does give them a chance to win. And I think that's great. I think that's what you want. That's all you want from your goaltenders, especially in a situation that you're in right now. You just want them to give you a chance to win every night. And I think more often than not, I think the Sharks goalies have done that. But I think they've had good games when they've lost too. Like, I don't think that, I wouldn't say, oh, well, they lost this game and goaltending was the reason why. There's been a couple of those games for sure. But I feel like they've gotten some pretty decent performances even in losses.
Yeah, and getting back to defense, I'm looking through Puckpedia right now of the UFAs that with defensemen with right shots, and it's like John Carlson, age 35, Jacob Trouba, age 31, and then it goes to Brent Burns, age 40. So it's already thin as we speak, and who knows what will happen in the time. So it's almost like they got to develop, or they got to develop to them being a part of a move.
Yes,
if they really want to. Or heck, when Pittsburgh buys out Erik Karlsson, why not?
Yeah. Ryan Killer asks, Bedard versus Celebrini. I've done this before. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because the answer is always the same, right? Mm-hmm. To me. And I'm not saying that these guys are going to be these players again, but I think it's Bedard is Ovechkin and Celebrini is Crosby.
Yeah.
Like that. I think Bedard is like, and we've seen him really come on this year. Like, I think he's just going to be a guy that just fills the net with an ungodly amount of goals. And I think Celebrini is going to fill the net with goals too. I don't think to the same extent. And I think that, like, the difference is obviously, like, Celebrini is a much better 200-foot player.
And I tell me someone that doesn't, besides the Chicago fan, that wouldn't believe you.
I think Chicago fans are well aware of Connor Bedard's defensive deficiencies. I don't think that's like, I don't think I'm spitting, like, I would hope that they would agree with me on that.
No, I mean,
Maybe they don't. Like, maybe they're in denial.
if they are, I mean, that's
I think
great.
they're both. I think they're both incredible players. I think they're just very different players, though.
Right.
That's all. I think it's and it's fun. Like, obviously, you're looking around the league right now, and like all these guys are just going off, right? Like Leo Carlson and like Connor Bedard, Macklin Celebrini. Like, you look at the top of the scoring rate. Like, it's fun. Like, this is super fun, right?
It's definitely probably
his
nightmare.
And look at, and I will, yes, I do want to say this. Like, his defensive game has improved this year. I just think that like Celebrini had it. Like, and he can improve. I just think Celebrini is a much better 200-foot player.
Yeah, and that's
you know, again, the work that they did in the offseason has definitely paid off. Look at, I think they're both great players. I just think they're very different players, and I don't think there's the one-to-one comparison there. I think they're both going to be great.
They're going to be phenomenal. I mean,
and I'm glad that we have Macklin Celebrini. Like, I'm super excited about that. Like, I would
absolutely. I mean, granted, we'd be excited if we had one that Bedard speaks. Yeah,
we'd be excited too. Like, I don't know.
But definitely but Celebrini's complete game.
Yeah,
it was apparent day one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. There's just a maturity in his game.
Yeah, it just.
So I mean, I need something here. All right, moving on. Molasses asked, with Misa being on IR and when he is good to come back, who would I trade and for what value, if there is any, so that the Sharks are compliant with the 50 contract limit so Michael Misa can get some reps in? So there's a couple ways that you can go about this. If I'm the Sharks, honestly, I might, and maybe this is just because I'm Canadian, so I'm biased, but I would send him, like, if he can get healthy in time to go to the World Juniors, I'd kick this can down the road as far as I can. I'd send him over to fucking juniors.
I mean, why not? I mean,
because especially
week to week,
Michael Misa, like, given what Team Canada is going to have, Michael Misa is probably their first line center.
Okay. Yeah. Right? I mean, how many games does he have? Like 6 so far?
Yeah.
Or 7? Yeah. 6, 7. But I mean,
my eyes just rolled into the back of my head.
But the point being is that if he's like back in time where he can get a couple of games in before he goes to World Juniors,
here's what I would do. And I'm going to credit JD because this is his. He was the one that kind of reminded me that this is a possibility. Like, I would, the second he comes back, conditioning stint.
Yeah,
Barracuda. Then I send him to the World Juniors, and then after that, I make a decision, because I think, like, with what, like, I think Michael Misa now, but like, he's not getting a lot of ice time in San Jose, right?
Right.
So I would send him to the World Juniors, where he's gonna be super relied on. He's probably the number one center on that team. He's gonna play in all kinds of situations. It's gonna be high end hockey. And then after that, you make a decision. Now, as far as like, who do you move? Like, obviously, like, everyone's going to say, oh, get rid of Nick Clutter or John Klingberg or whatever. And I get it. But the easiest thing to do is you take a look at someone on the Barracuda who's on an NHL contract and you move them for futures.
Yeah. I think that's the way to go. I really do. I think Klingberg and Leddy would get you what, maybe
I just don't think
on
it's
the seventh
realistic.
pick.
Like you can say, "Oh, well, these guys, I'm so mad at these guys,"
Right.
and you can do that, right? But I don't think it's realistic,
Yeah.
right? So like, I don't know. You take a guy like, I don't know. How about you take a guy like Samuel LeBurge and you send him somewhere for futures, and then you've cleared a contract,
Yeah.
right? And that's nothing against Samuel LeBurge. But like, I don't like. He's 28. He's just a guy on the Barracuda to me.
Right. I that might be the simplest way to do it.
But that's what
And
I would do. I would kick the can down the road as far as I can. Like I said, the second he's healthy, conditioning assignment. Let him go play some games on the Barracuda. Second, I won't like it. I agree. I get it. And then like, you let that go depending on how long he's out. Like again, he's week to week, so we don't know. We don't have like an ETA of when he's coming back. This is the greed they talk about in the Bible. You're right, Logan. Again, I am Canadian. I would like to see them do all the world, but I just think you kick this can down the road as long as you can.
yeah, and I'm trying to quickly pull up, where is Saginaw in the standings right now? They're in fourth place in the West Division of the OHL with 17 points. They're already 15 behind Windsor. They're already 8 behind your Sioux Greyhounds. I mean, will Misa make that push? I mean,
I don't know. Like I just think again, you kick that can down the road as far as you can. I think I still think he probably stays, but he might not. Maybe they do send him back. But if you did want to keep him, I think the easiest way to do it is to just get rid of one of these two-way contracts you have on the Barracuda for somebody for futures, and then that solves your contract problem. I don't think you need a big elaborate. Oh, we need to move. We need to move Nick Leddy right now.
right. I mean, hey, not to get crazy, but be good defensive depth for the playoffs. So
Yeah. So that to me, like that would be the play
for the Sharks.
for the Sharks. Yeah, you just kick the can down the road, and for Team Canada.
Yeah, there you go. Ah,
I hope that answers. I hope that's a good answer.
Yeah.
And then I have final one because Jules asked me for Power Ocean rankings, and I'm not doing it. This podcast is already going to be too long.
Right.
When he asks, what is Will Smith's ceiling? Is he an elite level winger who is staple to Celebrini a la Marner? Can he pull a hurdle and move back to center and drive his own line? I see flaws, but the offensive zone play is spectacular for a 20-year-old. To me, it's interesting, right? Because obviously you have to look at this from like just an overall perspective, and then just looking at the Sharks and what the Sharks have. To me, Will Smith is a winger in the NHL.
And with Misa eventually coming up,
Well, that's it.
That helps.
I think Misa's already a better center than Will Smith is. As far as centers go, I think Michael Misa's a better center. Yeah. So if you have if it's a situation, right, where it's an interesting thing to have, because obviously there's undeniable chemistry between him and Celebrini. And also and it's like, do you push one? Like, he's not, Will Smith can't be your third line center. He's
right.
Not good enough defensively to be your third line center, right? And Michael Misa is too good to be your third line center. I think when this is all, down, when you're looking at it,
he's
overall going forward. Like, I think that Michael Misa is too good to be your third line center.
Yeah, no,
your second line.
Right.
So, to me, I think on this team, he's absolutely a winger. I think that he's going to be a guy who, at his absolute best, I think he's an 80, 90 point winger in the NHL who is going to put like 40 in the net, 50 assists. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, totally.
I think because he's Will Smith. I think the one thing I will say about Will Smith, though, is he's also a guy who he's there's a whole slew of American forwards who have modeled their game after Patrick Kane. But I do believe that, much like Patrick Kane, Will Smith is a wing that can make their centerman better, where it's usually the other way around. So even if he's not with Celebrini. Like I think he's a winger who can help elevate the play of his center. I don't know. Like I think he's an 89 point guy. I like Will Smith a lot. I do understand that he has some defensive deficiencies. I was screaming at my monitor yesterday when when he turned over the puck on the when the net
game
was empty. Like that was horrifying. But I think he's an 80, 90 point guy who's gonna be a top line wing on this team for a long fucking time.
Yeah, he can definitely do it. But yeah, if he can fix his defensive game a little bit just to avoid that happening, because I was having a heart attack as well, that'd be huge. That would be so huge for a team going forward that has
Frank Tealtown co-host.
No, we're not going to
No.
do that. I don't want my feelings hurt, okay? Please.
Jules at the bottom. She wouldn't sacrifice any children.
Oh, no. But, all right.
And that's that. Let's get stock up, stock down, and get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
Do you have a stock up?
I have a stock up, and it's the penalty killing unit. I mean, I know some people have been saying, "Well, it's all the goaltending, everything," but I think it helps. It absolutely helps. But I think, the units have been playing very well. I mean, you've gone 17 in a row, knocking on wood, without allowing a power play goal. And considering how ass it was early on in the season, it's nice to see them turn around. So that would be my stock up.
Yeah, I mean, look at your goaltender has to be your best penalty killer. These are facts. So it definitely helps when they are. But look at there was a lot of power plays yesterday where that game could have gone the other way on numerous occasions. So
Absolutely.
I'm with you. I am absolutely stuck up on the penalty kill.
Yep.
And to go further to that point, obviously it's goaltending. Nedeljkovic and Asparov were both just unreal this week. And against really good teams, against really good shooters. Some of the best shooters in the league. Kyle Connor's no fucking joke.
No. On top of that, and again, Brody, if you're watching, sorry if I'm stealing this, but they've been 2 or fewer.
Fucking 2 or fewer motherfuckers.
I'm sorry, but it's true. They've been playing. The goaltending's been that well that we've brought that whole thing back.
Yeah.
So,
stock down.
The power play.
Yeah.
I know I'm stealing from you, but I mean, my God, I mean, if the power play can get their crap together, this team would be uber dangerous.
Look, I just think it needs a little. It frustrates me to no end that why can't we swap Klingberg and Orlov?
Was he promised? I mean, was Klingberg promised the number 1 power play quarterback? I mean, it was like, if you sign here, we'll make sure,
So sad. Stock down.
Oh, come on.
Letty for almost being ready to play again. That's horrible. I love it. It's horrible, and I love it.
I do like Logan Teal's one, like stock up Vinny Desharnais.
Yeah, Vinny Desharnais. You know what? I'm there. I'm with it.
Yeah, I mean, good job on the PK. He's shown his physicality, but he didn't lose it when Sam Bennett was trying to bait him into a penalty at the end of the first last night. I mean, that one was a good call.
I like it.
Yeah.
Moving on, I did say, so I know AJ was like, why are we doing stuff for the Barracuda? It was asked for in the chat, where if I could highlight some stuff going on in the Barracuda. So my stock up, Kasper Halttunen, Igor Chernyshov, both with multiple games this week. Again, Chernyshov was doing everything except for score, and now he's scoring, which is amazing. Stock down for the Barracuda is the penalty kill. It is the Barracuda, to their credit, are not taking a bunch of stupid penalties, but they still take some timely, dumb penalties. But it's not the parade to the box that they've been in a lot of other games, which I think is, should get credit.
Right.
But even if you get the penalty kill down by so many, if you take less penalties, you still want to kill all those penalties off. Yeah, it's hard to kill 9 penalties. Right? Like if the other team has 9 power plays, it's hard to kill all those off. You get a little more thing. When you have 4, probably want to kill more than half of them.
be a good idea. Just saying. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, and then yeah, Warsofsky did say in one of his media things that Klingberg was hired for a job and his job was PP one time. But it's not working. I don't
So
understand the stubbornness.
I didn't know we promise things and that's the thing, but okay. So
I want a pony, Warren Warsofsky.
yeah,
Promise.
I want to buy more jerseys, but some things we can't have. We can't always have nice things.
It's a really good question. Tom C in the chat here asking, are the Ducks legit? Probably not this legit, but I think they're definitely on the come up, right? I think that they've been really good. There's a lot to like on the Ducks. I think that getting Joe Quenneville in there, I think was a huge improvement over what coaching they had last year. They had a lot of problems, and I think the Ducks did a really good job of addressing them. Their power play was abysmal last year. They bring in Chris Kreider. He's been really good for them on the power play. Lucas Dostal is again continuing to show that he's the real deal. I think again, I'm really high on the Ducks. Are they going to be first in the Pacific all year? I don't think so. I think eventually, as the season progresses, that some of the teams that are kind of floundering, like the Oilers specifically, are gonna sort their shit out.
Right.
But they're definitely on the come up. Like I think this is a team that like could surprise. I think they could easily wind up in a wild card spot, and I think they could be a hard out for a team that takes them too lightly in the playoffs. I again, do I think they're like top of the West good? No, but they're definitely on the come up, and I think there's a lot there that's real.
I'm with you. I think they're not. If they seal the division, I mean that proves that the division sucks. But just how they took care of Vegas the other night, I think went a long way for their confidence to go up big time.
I just want to see how they play because look, it's a lot easier to win games in November than it is in January, February, March.
Right. Right. If they can keep this going, yeah, they're going to be a hard out come playoff time if they get in. But we shall see.
All right. So coming up this week, the San Jose Sharks will visit the Minnesota Wild on Tuesday. They visit the Flames. Oh man, they're on the road. Sucks to be them. They visit the Flames on Thursday, and then they visit the Kraken Saturday. This again, these are very, very winnable games for the Sharks. So I'm hoping that we continue to see some consistency from this team because I think the Wild have kind of floundered. The Flames are an absolute tire fire.
Holy
like,
cow!
The Sharks, like if that's the game that they decide to turn into a pumpkin on, I'm going to be very upset. And the Kraken, we saw what they could do against the Kraken already. Obviously, I think the Kraken in Seattle are going to be probably going to be a little pissed off at the last game. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I think that's going to be a fun game. But yeah, I mean, these are three very winnable games for the Sharks.
Yeah, I mean, I would say 3-0, 2-1. I think is definitely likely for Team Teal.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, I mean, if you think we're hyped up for this team now to win 3 in a row on the road and be fighting for a playoff spot, or dare I say, because how crazy this division is, first place, I mean, it's not out of the question, my friend.
The standings are so compressed right now.
It's crazy.
Fascinating. And again, like I said for the Barracuda earlier, they are going to be in Abbotsford on Tuesday and Wednesday, and they will return home to host the Reign on Saturday. So that is the week ahead. And once that all happens, we will be back to recap it all on this show. As well as After Dark after every game. Obviously, we will be there. Mm-hmm. I can do some. Sorry if you guys already went over this already, but if we are close to a playoff spot near the deadline, do you think the Sharks tick to stating off some vets like we have in past years? I wonder if maybe they stand pat. I think if the Sharks are legitimately threatening to be a playoff team, or are they sitting in a playoff spot? I don't think that's going to be the case, but I would be ecstatic if they were, because ultimately I want the team to do well. This is what I do. I like watching the game. I don't. I think it's a situation where if somebody blows your doors off or something, you probably have to listen and make a move. I don't think it would be the fire. I don't think it's going to be the fire sale we've seen
No.
in previous years, though. And I don't think that Mike Greer would add, right? Like, I don't think there's under any circumstances Mike Greer should not add to this group. Everything that they do this season, even if you sneak in, it's all house money.
Yeah.
You don't add to that. I think it's good, and it definitely, maybe it changes your plans in the off season a little bit, but ultimately I think it's a situation where you don't add. And I think if you don't want to, like, you're not going to completely tear the team apart, obviously, because I think that's the wrong message to send to the group. But I think if someone like absolutely blows the doors off for a guy, you probably have to listen, given where they are.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can't see them giving up futures to go out in 5 games.
They're not in that place, right?
Right. Nope.
They would have to just they would have to just go on a hell of a run between now and then. And even then, I still think you just let it ride.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know.
Quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Who should the Dallas Stars take on in their Stadium Series game next February? The February 2027. It came out last Monday.
Okay.
That they're going to have an outdoor game at Jerry World, so that place can hold up towards to about 90,000. You know me, wishful thinking would be San Jose, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. My money, Colorado.
It's Chicago. It's always Chicago.
Shut your whore mouth! Don't you dare!
It's always Chicago. Colorado would be good. Yeah, no, look at Colorado. That would be a lot of fun. But I was just like, whenever these things happen, I'm just like, and why is it Chicago?
I'm just waiting for. Pittsburgh signed Sidney Crosby up again, so now we're going to keep him going.
No,
Dallas, Pittsburgh.
I think Colorado's an amazing shout. But like, I feel like Chicago's in all of these things, so I have.
Yep. And then we'll be looking forward to Jumbo tomorrow, courtesy of our friend Jesse Blake from SDPN. He got us a video of Austin Matthews and Jumbo. So he got a huge ovation when he dropped the puck before the game. So get out of here. There you go.
All right. So, I am losing my voice. We're done.
We got to get out of here.
We're out of here. We've talked too much. All right. So let me get us out of here properly.
Okay.
All right. In case you missed it or you want to watch us again, you can always find everything we do on the audio stream on any of your favorite podcatchers. You can, obviously, if you're watching this after the fact and you want to continue to interact with us, you can leave us a comment section. I always read the comments after every Pucknologists video, and I do respond when I feel necessary. Sometimes people cover their points really well, though, and there's nothing to say. So if I don't respond, don't be upset. It's cool. I read it. Other than that, you can find everything we do at tealtownusa.com. And other than that, man, I think that's it. I have nothing else to say. It's over. It's over. Game over, man.
Appreciate it, man. It's been a fun week, and with the week coming up, it should continue.
Should be super good. Yeah. Next week, me and AJ back at it. And then, we'll talk about some prospects and review the week that was. So look forward to that. See you next week. See you after every game on After Dark. Not me personally, but we will collectively, Teal Town USA. And that's it. Good night.
Good night.